I need $2 million to collect a piece of space trash. How will we get this $2 million, you say? Well, part of that mission is going to be accomplished through this show that you're watching itself. So you watching this, you engaging with this show right now is actively contributing to collecting a piece of space trash. So look at you doing the literal most to save humanity from space trash. Beautiful. Because things are you may wonder, Mike, how's it going? You've been doing it for a month. Is it popping off yet? Is your podcast as big as Amy Poehler's new podcast, Good Hang? No, it's not even 0.0007% as successful. But we do now have a global listenership. That's right, folks. We have gone global. We now have listeners in not only the United States of America, we now have at least one listener in España, the great country of Spain. Yes, over on the motherland continent of Europe, we have at least one listener we know for our best analytics. Gosh, who are you? ¿Quién es? ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? ¿Quieres un podcast conmigo? We'd love to have you on. I feel like I don't have I have the American, idea, conception, that's not the word. Perception is the word. That's crazy. I just confused conception with perception. I don't even know if perception. I am literally losing it right now. What do people in Spain think about space trash? Basura de space. What do y'all think of it over there? Is it something you guys are talking about? So we are growing the podcast, and we want to have our Spanish listener on. Tell us who you are. Write in at MikeHeathComedy@gmail.com. Would love to get you on the show to get a global kind of insight into the issue of space trash. Maybe if you know anything your country's doing. We have our side quest of YouTube monetization, and we've gone down 10 hours. So, because it's the last 365 days, and I'm discouraged, but I will not let it keep me down. No. No. Outside of collecting a piece of space trash, I am starting a new job on Monday. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to be selling HR software and solutions. So it's business to business. I'm not selling this to you, the customer, but if you have a business that needs of payroll or other HR solutions, hit me up on LinkedIn. Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. That'd be the best place. Let's keep business. Let's keep this space trash business among the community here. But probably besides all of this, my day job, that is going to pay for food, this apartment, the health and well-being of my dog over here, to provide for my family, to buy, other stuff that I need to live, buy coffee, buy new toys for my dog so he'll leave me alone. The thing that I think is most likely, at this point with how things are progressing in life, and so far, I think, you ever just get caught in a thought, like you know what you're going to say, but you can't get it out? That is what just happened to me. Yep. The thing that I think is the most promising toward getting us to $2 million to collect a piece of space trash is the book. The picture book, which I'm writing, which I have 218 days until the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is part of our plan. So we want to get a space trash themed balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which I'm now realizing, will simultaneously be a piece of advertisement for the Space Trash Force movement and the book, which is in and of itself funneling funds and resources back into the movement. So it is really all about that. But in addition to being the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 218 days, which I tell you, that seems like a lot, but to go from not having a book and no possible connections to get me into the parade and no money, if that costs money, we have no money for that. Golly. So yeah, it's that's not a lot of time, but we will do it and we will accomplish it. We want to get a Good Morning America as part of our book tour. That's probably be stop number 1 on our book tour, honestly. And we want to do Thanksgiving week as the official drop date for the book, so that will give people time as they're making, either Black Friday shopping or just shopping for Christmas, kind of, end of year gifts. If you don't celebrate Christmas, just you want to give somebody a gift at the New Year's Eve party, this will be a good gift that, if somebody has a birthday coming into the new year, but we really want to come into the new year with some momentum. So that's what we think we're going to do. So we have 218 days until the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I would say it's not really, I think we will need money to get to New York City, which I'm actually, just for family business, I'm going to New York at the end of April, and I plan on doing some recon missions there, like maybe trying to meet some people at Good Morning America, maybe meet some people who are involved in the parade. I'm going to try to make some connections in addition to doing the family business. That's why I'm going. I'm going for family. But while I'm there, when I'm not taking care of family business or working my day job in the small amount of time and not going to comedy shows and open mics, is to do some recon. So there will be some recon done at the end of the month. But I think we will need to make the Thanksgiving trip. We will most likely need some resources. So we need to generate some capital before then, which I plan on doing via the Patreon, which is the paid membership to really be a part of the Space Trash Force. And many content creators have a Patreon. It's where you pay a monthly subscription. You get access, usually. It's to support the creator. And in this case, the Space Trash Force, and the heartbeat of our mission is to collect a piece of space trash. So, every dollar in there is in some way going toward that mission. And but so we do exclusive content on there. We have a bonus pod. It's a mini pod, but it's a bonus pod. I mean, this is essentially a mini pod. This isn't a very long podcast. This isn't a 2-hour podcast. This isn't even an hour. It's probably going to be like maybe around 30-ish minutes is usually where we try to land. But yeah, so we are doing that. And I have the best news that I'm just so excited because we got our first member to the Patreon. Give it up to Tracy, everybody. Now, I will say, Tracy, I don't know who you are, but I'm happy to have you on the Patreon. However, it is a little sad because you're just a free member. Now, that is a step toward where we want to go, So, kudos to you. Congratulations. Really happy. But that will not enter you into the Birdhouse initiative. Nope, I'm sorry to say it. As much as I would like to do that, the Birdhouse initiative, if you didn't know, anybody who is a part of the Space Trash Force on the Patreon at any level, whether you are a space cadet or, all the way up to, an orbital council member, whatever level, anybody in there will be entered in to the one-of-one exclusive Birdhouse giveaway. And we're doing this because not only do we want to reward you with the secrets, honestly, in addition to just like the bonus pod that's on the Patreon, we talk about things, secret knowledge, the plans that we have in place, things that we are doing behind the scenes, details of the book that we do not talk about in public. We talk about it within the Patreon. And we have secret knowledge that gets dropped there first and then gets leaked out to the public. But the Patreon knows everything first, and even some of my comedy, if you like that, you can see that there. But while Tracy, you are not entered in, you are closer than anybody else in the world to getting this birdhouse, which will be space trash themed, that will be given away at the end of April. And I thought this would be fun to talk about. Why a birdhouse? Because number one, I have never heard of someone giving away a birdhouse, and it is unheard of. Actually, I did hear that Steve Wozniak is trying to do something with space trash. If that's true, Steve, hit me up. I would love to do a collab, a little Mike and Steve collab. I think that would be fun, for the boys. We've got a real garage energy, and I know that's back to your roots with starting Apple, with old Mr. Jobs. But a birdhouse giveaway is unique, and it's almost springtime. People are they need a birdhouse, and I want to help people get the birdhouse that they need, and for that to be helpful in us collecting a piece of space trash. And I'll be honest, I didn't know. I've always just thought that birdhouses were just run of the mill. But did you know that there are different kind of birdhouses for different kind of birds? And I want to take us through just a brief history of the birdhouse. Have you ever wondered where the concept of a birdhouse originated? Since we are doing this birdhouse initiative, let's learn a little bit. This could be trivia knowledge, and this, at the very least, could maybe fuel some excitement you have for this initiative and telling a friend. If you don't want to sign up for the Patreon, you don't want to give money, that I don't care. That's fine. I would like you to, but that would help us collect a piece of space trash. But maybe you just have a friend who loves exclusive birdhouses. Hook them up, let them know what's going on. This is going to be premium, high quality. If you are the person in Spain listening to the birdhouse, to this podcast, I will ship the birdhouse to Spain, and I will build a wooden box for the wooden birdhouse to live inside. I will get it to you. I will ship globally for this. This is for the world, just like us collecting a piece of space trash is for the world. I want to do a quick, brief history of the birdhouse. Okay, rapid fire. All right. This is coming in from Carriage House Furnishings. This is Elmer Stoltzfuss, who posted this in July of 2019. I believe that Carriage House, they make birdhouses, and they're Amish-made birdhouses, which, those things are sturdy. You know what I mean? They get built quick, and they are sturdy, and they are technology free. Well, not technology. Well, I think I actually don't know that. I don't know if that's the Amish or Mennonites. Regardless, do you know when the origins of birdhouses can be traced back to? How about 15th to 16th century Belgium? Did you know that? Initially, they had, let's just say they had ill intent. They weren't to provide shelter to the birds. They were to capture eggs from the birds. They wanted to eat their birds, or they wanted to eat birds for food. They were traps. Yep, they wanted to trap birds, and they deceived them with the promise of a luxury 2-story 15th century Victorian white paneled wooden home. A home that could withstand the storms of Belgium, a Belgian summer. They tricked them. They thought they were going to get a free home, kind of a government handout, but in all reality, it was all a trap. Yep, just like a cryptocurrency to lure them into investing in something, putting their lives in the hands of another person and another creature. Yep, they actually were made out of clay, probably. They were kind of styled like vases. But then mankind grew up, and we matured as a people, as a global society, and we no longer needed to trap our birds. We just began shooting them out of the sky. And so now we don't use birdhouses for that. Now they're actually a place of refuge, honestly. And that started over in Europe, but I think North America has really perfected it. I'm reading here that says some of the early colonists in Williamsburg, Virginia, shout out VA, wanted to use birds as a form of pest control, and they used birdhouses to lure them onto their property to control the pests, you know. And I guess that's actually what that's a brief history. That's it. That's the history that we got from Carriage House. So that's pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick. So I guess birdhouses, you know, if you have some pests, I don't know how this birdhouse isn't going to be that big. So this isn't like a falcon birdhouse. I'm thinking there are different types. I'm actually learning that as well. And I'm going to do a video probably on this. Just like I went like 11 steps to how to make a birdhouse. Yeah, check out a separate video I have here. I'll post it later this week. A guide to building a birdhouse. Because we still got to talk about space news, feedback. There's so much else to get to. We can't do this. Yeah, we can't do this right now. So don't wait, okay? You know, you can join at any time in April. But commit today, you know. Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it. You know, stop waiting to make your dreams come true. Just join the Space Trash Force today and win yourself a birdhouse, maybe, potentially. You ever won anything? You ever won a birdhouse before? This could be the month that you win a birdhouse. And if you don't want a birdhouse, you can give that birdhouse away, you know. So, and that's incredible. You know, you can't buy a birdhouse, a custom handmade birdhouse for $5, but you can join the Space Trash Force for that amount. So I think it's really a win-win-win situation. Just like Oscar and Angela and Michael Scott in The Office, you know, you don't want a win-win situation, a win-lose or lose-lose or win-lose or lose-win. You want a win-win-win. You win by not only contributing to cleaning up orbital garbage and through joining the Space Trash Force, you also win your friend, if in the situation where you're giving it away, you win your friend an opportunity to win a birdhouse that they want, because maybe you have a birdhouse lover in your life who doesn't care about space trash yet, but they will because you're going to share this with them and tell them all about it. You win them the opportunity for that. And then the collective Space Trash Force, we all win because we have more resources to complete our mission. That is a win-win-win situation. And we need to know what is constantly happening in space. We want to be up to date with the latest space news. So whenever we eventually go there to collect that piece of space trash, we're not surprised by anything that's happening. And let me tell you, there is some exciting space news happening. News from space. Where'd you get that news? News from space. This is actually quite exciting. This is coming in from Space News, the website where we get all of our weekly space news from. Did you know back in the 80s, Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative, aka Star Wars, was mostly a bluff? Never got built. Nope, but the idea was to scare the Soviets into spending money trying to counter it. And fast forward to today, and the U.S. actually needs to build something real because China and Russia have developed hypersonic missiles, anti-satellite weapons, and other threats that are not science fiction. This is not the Dune series, baby. This is real life. The Golden Dome. This isn't just a cool name. It's an attempt to stop the bad guys. In this case, that is China and Russia. This is not political. I'm just reading, the synopsis of this article, from throwing high-speed metal at Earth from space. This is an attempt to stop some potential bad guys. I'm not saying anybody is bad yet, but to prevent the potential of our enemies from throwing high-speed metal at Earth from space. The Golden Dome. And unfortunately, this at the current, which I don't agree with this, but this is what is happening. Not everyone gets a spot underneath the dome, because I guess there's a big debate whether the Golden Dome will protect just the U.S. or also cover allies, and I think it should cover everyone. If we can build this technology, why not just give it to everybody? When we go to collect a piece of space trash, we're not doing it for just us, we're doing it also for our enemies, the people that hate us, that are against us, that are our naysayers, who our haters are just our elevators. Yes, we're doing it for them too. Yeah, so I think the Golden Dome, the protection should be for everybody, I think we should not only protect ourselves, but if we have the Golden Dome, let everybody be protected by the dome, If we're going to give it, everybody gets it. If the U.S. builds this thing, you can expect immediate diplomatic drama. Yep. People are going to want to know if they're protected, and that's going to be a drama. But it's not if we just do it for everybody, let's just do it. I don't know how these things happen, so this could be more challenging. But that's what's going on in space this week. They're building the Golden Dome. And I don't know if that's going to get messy, or if people are going to be like, we need some intergalactic missiles too, because we want to blow up Jupiter. Dude, wouldn't that be insane if someone tried to blow up Jupiter? I honestly am not smart enough to know if that, or if they were going to you can't shoot a missile into the sun though. That wouldn't matter. I don't think it is the missile. It is the missile of all missiles. So I'm not concerned about that. But what about Jupiter? Will Jupiter be okay? I don't know. Maybe we need to protect Jupiter. But this is exciting, guys. One of my favorite parts about doing the podcast is the conversational part where we have feedback from you, members of the Space Trash Force, and the greater community on what's going on here. And we want to let the community know, this is public knowledge because this person left a public comment, but Mr. Striker 1 was in a really bad car crash, and we want to send our love and gosh, man, we got a heavy heart with you. We are grieving with you, but glad to hear that you're doing well. Seems like you had a car crash and you're in the hospital. Expected to make a full recovery, which we love to hear. Yeah, just so sad, and we will still be doing the good fight of collecting a piece of space trash. But you thank you so much for your part of not just showing your support, but keeping a daily tally of pieces of space trash picked up. We really appreciated that, and that feedback we really appreciate. This coming in from Makari Mama. Dude, how are you not viral? Awesome editing, awesome job all around. I'm a fan. We don't know. And it's not about me being viral. It's about us being viral. I want us to be contagious. A bug that spreads throughout like the flu spreading through the school, because you share it with your friends, even unknowingly or sometimes knowingly if you're a little rascal. So be a little rascal. Don't be a rascal for the flu. Be a rascal for the Space Trash Force and telling people that space trash is not a joke. Share this episode with them or other pieces of knowledge we've shared to invite them to join in what we're doing. Gosh, that's so exciting. And Tampa Tony letting us know that we do great brothers, great edits. Thank you so much, Tampa Tony. I want to get down to Tampa, Florida, and hang out with Tampa Tony and talk about space trash. That'd be so fun, man. And then we got That Potato 333 that says space shouldn't be filled with trash, but yet we fill it with trash anyway. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Are you saying that this is a quote from The Art of War by Sun Tzu, because I'm pretty sure that that is not what a real quote. Yep, I think that's fake news. And then, gosh, we have a little discouraging comment here from the Dane TV that says, your challenge is most likely going to take decades to finish, but whatever you want to do, I guess. And this is what I want to do. If it takes, if we get that 2 milli by Thanksgiving week, whenever we drop the book, or say we drop the book and we get that 2 milli to go to space to get that piece of space trash, and it ends within a year, so be it. That's great. We can do more stuff. We can live our life free. Because we're just going to do one piece of space trash and there's millions of pieces of space trash. But this will, I think if we were able to do it, gosh, and maybe we collab with Steve Woz and it becomes really beautiful. But even if it takes decades to do our small part of getting a piece of space trash, it will be worth it. So take that, Dane. Go watch some TV, why don't you? When our haters hate, we gonna motivate. That's right. This is this week's motivations. You remember when Michael Jordan said that he got cut from his basketball team? Now, I don't know if Michael has, is the ultimate, standard of a moral ethic, but you can't, one thing you can say, I think Michael Jordan is the golden standard for not just taking things personally, but being motivated and finding ways to motivate himself. I watched the Last Dance, and gosh, he would just he would find things to motivate him. He would generate things. And, I think sometimes you can feel so distant from space trash, and your hatred for it, but you have to remind yourself, we will be stuck here if we do not clean up our orbital garbage. That junkyard that's orbiting us right now, we must take care of it. It must be done. So just like Michael Jordan, as he was in the playoffs and he would find reasons to motivate himself to overperform, to perform at the highest level, and for us to not grow weary in writing a book, which I guess is actually kind of hard. We're finding that out, and we don't run an artist. We're trying to figure that out too. But gosh, and this man who would go on to be the greatest basketball player of all time got cut from his basketball team. So whenever you feel like quitting, remember, we could be the change that cleans up the orbital junkyard, and together I think we could really do it. Gosh, that's so beautiful. I can't wait for that. I just think about that. I dream about that. And we're going to end this week's episode with just a moment of beauty. Yes, this is just a still moment. Sometimes all you need is a bit of stillness and a cup of coffee in a sunny coffee shop on a Saturday morning. We will collect a piece of space trash. How will we do it? We will do it from building a birdhouse, from building a podcast, a show that is not only just listened to in America, but listened to all over the world. Yes. We will not quit, even though we metaphorically get cut from our high school basketball team. Yes. A beautiful thing we will do, and we will get more patrons, and we will be in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And here is how I think we'll do it. My foolproof plan to getting in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is in this week's bonus episode on the Patreon. I'll see you there. Because together, we will clean up our orbital junkyard.
Great shot!